Wildlife Service link its recommendation of 20 sample points to a turbine of that size?
I won't say it was a swag, but they designed this model and these parameters to be collected, data to be collected for golden eagles in the west, where fatalities were much higher. Once turbines reached the east, everything changed because they just didn't fly into the turbines with the regularity that they did in California. This was also designed for different types of turbines. Remember, I'm sorry, I won't go on.
Yeah. Go to page 64 of LR Exhibit 15. And I'd like to refer you to the first sentence after the heading that read as follows. 2, survey of the project area nesting population, number and locations of occupied nests of eagles. You see where
Yes.
I'm at? Okay.
Yes, thank you.
And the first sentence states as follows. To evaluate project siting options and help assess potential effects of wind energy projects on breeding eagles, we recommend determining locations of occupied nests of eagles within the project area for no less than 2 breeding seasons prior to construction. You see that?
Yes.
Then towards the bottom of that page in the last paragraph, I'd like to direct your attention to the second sentence of that paragraph, which reads as follows. At least 2 checks via aircraft or 2 ground-based observations are recommended to designate a nest or territory as unoccupied, as long as all potential nest sites and alternate nests are visible and monitored, i.e. alternate nests may be widely separated such that a full-length ground-based observation should be devoted to each. Do you see that?
Yes.
All right, keep this plan in front of you. We will refer back to it as when we go through the bald eagle surveys that are mentioned in your testimony. But you can set it to one side for the moment. Are there certain times of the year when bald eagles are easier to find than others?
Depends on where you are, what the habitat is.
Okay. With respect to the habitat that's in the project area for Republic Wind, are there certain times of the year when eagles are easier to find?
Yes.
And what are those periods of the year?
Early spring. Oh, for eagles, to find eagles you're just talking about.
Bald eagles, yes.
Pretty much any time during the year you can see bald eagles perched, unless it's in the summer or the spring and they're inside of a forest. Otherwise, pretty much any time of the year you just think soaring and flying around.
Are they harder to find during periods of time when the leaves are on the trees?
It's very easy to find eagles themselves when the leaves are on trees. If you're talking about nests, it's a very different situation. You want to search when the leaves are off the trees.
When do the young eagles leave the nest in autumn?
Probably in May. It's going to be later, could be earlier, depending on the season. You get an early spring, it might be earlier.
And after they leave the nest, is the nest unoccupied for the rest of the year?
No,
Okay. What happens after they first leave the nest?
they fly a short distance and return to the nest.
And how long do they do that?
As long as they keep getting fed. But generally, a month or more.
During the time that the adult eagles have young in the nest, what is the travel range for those adult eagles when they are foraging for food?
It varies, depending upon how many roads you have in the area, because roadkills are a very, very important source of food for eagles. So if you have a lot of roads, they don't need to go very far. Without roads, they're going to go farther, depending upon what they're used to feeding on. It may be to a certain point where you have lots of ducks.
Is it fair to say that their travel range depends on the availability of food?
I think that was the point I was trying to make with roadkills.
Yeah. They'll travel as far as necessary to obtain enough food, correct?
Yes.
Generally speaking, do bald eagles that nest near rivers or lakes travel as far to satisfy their food needs as eagles that are nesting in areas where rivers or large lakes are not nearby?
It could be. It also depends on the availability of food and the type of food. Again, in the way of roadkills, gut piles from hunters that season of the year can be very helpful, well, marginally helpful.
You're aware from reviewing these reports that there are bald eagle nests in areas surrounding the Republic Wind project area, right?
They're surrounding it, but they're scattered throughout the landscape, yes.
Okay. Have you done any study or looked at any information to determine what the travel range for those bald eagles is?
No.
Would you expect their travel range to be longer than the travel range for bald eagles that are living near Lake Erie?
I don't know.
Do you have an opinion on how long Eagle survey data is useful?
There are what are called historic nests. Those nests presumably are in good habitat, and you can find them year after year after year. But with the changes in eagles these days, we have so many more nests. I live in New Jersey. We're coming up to over 200 nests in the state, and that's quadruple, or more than that. New York is quadruple, so nests are starting to appear in more locations. they're young birds wandering, and as they become sexually mature, they're settling in new habitats that haven't seen bald eagles in a century or more. So I think that might help answer your question.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think it does. Let me follow up on that. With respect to Seneca County, have you determined whether eagle populations in that county are expanding?
With respect to Seneca County, I don't know if it's expanding. In Ohio, it's expanded, it's quadrupled in the last 17 or 18 years. There are 4 times as many bald eagle nests today, and it's approaching 300 nests. This is unheard of in modern history. It's because we don't have DDT and people aren't shooting them like they used to.
So for Seneca County, are you able to express an opinion as to how recent a bald eagle survey has to be in order to reflect current conditions of the bald eagle populations?
With the numbers of nests that are increasing each year, it'd almost have to be annually because they're just off the charts. They're popping up, they're on Staten Island in New York City now. I mean, that's how many nests and new habitats that they're ending up in.
Let's look at some of the bald eagle survey reports that you list in your testimony on in answer A7. I think we'll start with the bald eagle survey that is labeled as Exhibit M, bald eagle survey, to the amended application of December 26, 2018. Can you get that in front of you?
And what's the exhibit again?
M.
November 2012, you said?
It is November 2012, correct?
Yes, I have it.
We'll just pause, let everybody else find it. We're good to go?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. My co-ALJ was just telling me that he found it quicker than the lady with the computer.
All right, the date of this survey report is November 2012, correct?
Yes,
And it's titled Final Results for the Bald Eagle Survey Effort, Republic Wind Farm, Seneca, and Sandusky Counties, Ohio, correct?
correct.
And this report was prepared for Republic Wind LLC, Nordex USA Inc., according to the title page, correct?
Yes.
Let's go to page number 1 of that report.
Okay.
This page has the title Introduction on the top. And according to the first paragraph on page 1 of this report, Nordex at that time was anticipating 83 turbines to be installed in the project area, correct?
Of 200 megawatts, did you say that?
No, 83 turbines is what I was referring to.
83 turbines, okay, yes.
And according to the second paragraph on page 1, Ph.D, the consultant, used the procedures in the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service draft Eagle Conservation Plan guidance, correct?
Yes,
So that was a draft of the final document that is marked as LR Exhibit 15, correct?
I believe so.
Now, if you go to page 2 of the report, you'll see an outline for the project area that was being considered at the time, correct?
Yes,
And the footprint for that project area is different than today's footprint for the Republic Wind project area, correct?
yes.
Go to page 3 of the report. Under the heading for 3.0, Bald Eagle Nest Monitoring and Results, the first sentence states, during the nest survey, BHE identified 3 bald eagle nests within close proximity, approximately 6 miles, to the project area, figure 1, correct?
Yes.
Do you know how BHE performed this nest survey?
I believe they used road counts. In other words, they looked from the roads, and as they drove, they looked for nests. It's a commonly used method. And where nests in areas could not be accessed easily, they walked into them. I believe that's the methodology. I just want to make sure. Yeah, if access to the nest was not available, the BHE used the GPS to record the location of the nearest publicly accessible area, then estimated the distance. Okay. Just go back a page. Here they refer to the Ohio protocol, specifies raptor nest survey, so if we looked at that in this handy document finder. I can't open this up again, I'm sorry. If you look at the methods.
iPad that's been adversely possessed.
Gladly give you my.
I'm sorry?
Is it your iPad?
No,
Oh,
I have
oh,
three.
oh.
No, I don't have an iPad, so I also didn't want to drop it.
Yeah, but I went from the ThinkPad to the. I wasn't feeling. A sports car.
Raptor nest searches, ODNR on page 3. Nest searching 1.2. Conducted on or within 1 mile of the proposed site. A 2-mile buffer should be used if the site is within 1 mile of larger bodies of water or wetlands greater than 5 acres, 5 hectares rather. don't see where it says how to do these. But I'm pretty sure it was done the way most of us do them, driving a car, looking for nests. You can't see into a wooded area, you walk into it. It's very simple.
Does this report indicate that they walked into any wooded areas?
I can't find anything to that effect.
And they did a nest survey in 2011, correct?
Yes, March 17 through 25, 2011.
Your Honor, can I just get an estimate with respect to the remaining costs for Mr. Kerlinger? Mr. Marcotte, let's get out on 5/15 to make this flight, so I just want to get this understanding.
Let's go off the record.